Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap. Oh, gosh, man. So pumped to be here with you today. Of course, on a Final Takes Friday, a Victory Final Takes Friday with Cody Carpentier. Cody, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. And just as you were introing, I was reading the theme of the day, and I'm excited for this one.
No, it's going to be good. Oh, it's going to be a big show today. Of course, running a little bit late, as Jay Ward has certainly noticed in the chat. Gonna say what's up to you guys soon enough here. But I've been running around in the rain, so I'm glad that there's some rain at least. Not glad that my dog decided he wanted to leave the virtual fence and have me run all around the creation looking for this puppy. Certainly easy enough to spot once you get an eye on him. But yeah, so just a couple quick things right off the top. Again, it's a Final Takes Friday. We got the Final Take stuff loaded up. But if you guys have any questions, make sure and put them in the chat. If you want to super chat them, you want to chat them. It's a Friday, man. It's Ask the Boys Anything. We're here to answer your questions. So whatever it is, if it's about the Longhorns, college football, the draft, fantasy, sports betting, all that stuff. Gosh, I haven't even thought about my Circa Millions entry this week, Cody. Maybe we can talk some stuff about that. And then also, please like the show, subscribe to the channel, click for notifications, all that stuff. Also, the college football pick'em. The college football pick'em on Angel Fire Games. It's free. We definitely. Oh, Blake already put the link there in chat. What you got to do? Go to the App Store. Go download Angel Fire Games. Click on that link right there. It will take you right to the contest. You submit your entries. It's 100% free. It costs you nothing. There's nothing here that costs any money. But it's a private league that my buddy Byron made for us. He'll pay out the winner $100. Second place $50, and if somebody manages to get all 40 right, which I'm not sure I don't think it's going to happen, but if you do, you get $500, and to the winner, I'm also going to add in a special prize for myself as well. So, or not for myself, a special prize from yours truly. So make sure and go do that. Angel Fire Games. Download the app in the App Store. Follow the link. Get your picks in. It's free. It's fun. It's a free shot at $100. So it's going to be great. All right. So the chat, man, what's going on with all you guys? Let's just see what's going on. We got Gringo Horn 65. Gringo Horn 65 is really Johnny on the spot getting in this chat lately. Sandman 23, of course. Nathan. So good to see you, my friend. Jay Ward says, smash that like button. I certainly agree. If Alex is late, he's buying beers tonight. Well, I guess drinks are on me. Drinks are on me, boys. Sorry about that. Blame the dog. Tyler Finley, so good to see you. Bryce Potter, still on my route in Nebraska, flashing the horns at every Ring doorbell. Oh gosh, that's right, dude. Spreading the love, Bryce Potter. Love to see that. Again, Money B. Nathan saying, give Alex some time. He's getting a fresh dye job done on his hair. Okay, yep. Chad Gibson, so good to see you. Good afternoon to you as well, my friend. Money B says Terry Blacks has the best brisket to him. Cody, you got any takes on that? Cody got in last week, and let's see. Cody got in last week. He stopped on his way up to Temple before Final Takes Friday. He got some Terry Blacks, sent me a photo of it. Didn't mention anything about it or whatever. I texted him. I'm like, how's that Terry Blacks? He's like, dude, it's like the brisket's better in Virginia than this.
Dude, so that Terry Blacks, I don't know. Like you said it like 3-4 times. I might have got a bad batch. I don't know what it was, but like the Terry Blacks in Dallas I had a few months ago was good. Mm-hmm. This stuff I had in Austin was not. And then Interstellar, that's going to be my easy answer because I've only been to a couple places in Texas. Interstellar waxes poetic on Terry Blacks right now. So.
Dude, whenever I like you brought it over my house before we did the Sirius XM radio last week because you were driving out from Temple. It was an easy stop on 620 up there. Interstellar Barbecue, for you guys who don't know, number 2 barbecue spot in Texas on the most recent list on 620, kind of close to Cedar Park, near where 620 meets 183. Dude, Cody brought that in, and like he got half the brisket for him and half the brisket for like me and my family because Cody eats enough for a family. And he took his half, and I was just like, dude, this looks so good. I took just a little piece of the brisket off of it, and it's still kind of hot from the place, you know. And I ate it. I'm like, well, all right, dude. So here you go. If you don't like this, you're just not gonna like Central Texas craft barbecue. You're just, it's like you're just not gonna like it if you don't like this. Cody Cody, he tries it. He's just like, dude,
dude, it was melting, bro. And then also was it sweet? It's sweet peach tea, pork belly. That's the best thing they got. That was.
I mean, the brisket's the best thing they got, but that dude, that sweet tea pork belly stuff, the sweet tea pork belly burn-ins. I mean, it's really good, man. I mean, I don't know. People say that, Franklin is always the king and stuff. Man, Interstellar is really, really, really good.
Money B in here says I need to get over to Interstellar. I will say I got there at about 11 o'clock on Saturday, and I didn't get to the front. I didn't get to the front of the line until about 12:20. So it's about an hour 20 about that on Saturday. It feels like so.
Montgomery Flores hops on. He says this is fun as dude. We're gonna have some fun today with some final takes. C. Shearman always sharp. Let's see what he has to say. Best barbecue in Texas, DFW. Central Texas lost it a few years ago. That's not true. I mean, look, Houston I think is probably right now ahead of DFW with all the stuff they have going on down there. Right? Truth, Tejas Chocolate. Pinkertons. I mean, yeah. But he does mention Goldies, and Goldies is basically people who don't realize Goldies is like one dude that used to work at Franklin, and one dude that was an understudy at Law, and then one dude that was an understudy at Style Switch, and one dude that was an understudy at Snows, and like they're all these young guns that all come together. And I haven't had it yet, but it certainly looks awesome. I've watched every YouTube video there is. Harish, great to see you, my friend. Golly, man, the chat just kind of dropped it. James Gomez, so good to see you, brother. Luling, Texas has the best barbecue. Well, Luling City Market certainly is terrific for sure. So good, man, to be here with all you guys. It is a final takes.
Hey, real quick, Alex, before we hopped on, we were like, there wasn't a whole lot of recruiting news, anything going on today. So far, it's been kind of quiet. Well, I did see this a few moments ago. Former Texas quarterback Malik Murphy scheduled to take 3 visits over the next few days.
Can we guess?
Yeah, let us guess. I'm going to guess what we said yesterday. My 3 guesses are going to be Oregon State, Duke. Doesn't he seem like a Duke guy?
Ooh, I don't know about Duke. I don't know about
Oregon
Duke.
State, Duke, and what's UCLA?
I'm going to go UCLA, USC, and LSU.
Alex almost nailed it. Duke, the first visit.
Nice call, dude. Nice call.
He seems like a Duke kid.
Hold on. The Baylor Bears get the second visit.
No.
And Oregon State gets the third visit.
No way.
Oh, nobody would have ever guessed Baylor. That kid's not going to. Dude, after living in Austin, he's not moving to Waco.
Well, maybe he could still live in Austin and just drive up to Waco.
I was going to say, what if he just says he wants to stay close and goes, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Jay Ward saying tons of crystal balls and future casts and stuff today for
I did see
for Xavier Filsamy. So there's that. There's also the news that it's like the worst. I mean, Andrew McCuba's coming in, and it feels like that thing's going down. There's been it's just that thing's going down. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be some news, but definitely waiting for, I think you guys are probably pretty well caught up on the visitors for this weekend, where Texas sort of stands with them, and trending really well for a few guys. And then, there are a few of these dudes who I looked at, and maybe we'll have time to talk about it later. But Blake, maybe you'll know who there's a defensive end that weighs like 280. He wears number 53. He's committed to Baylor right now, and now Texas is swooping in on this guy. He was Ketch mentioned him, I think, in the War Room. Somebody will know who he is. It's was it Alex something? Maybe it wasn't Alex. I would have remembered that a little bit better. Let me just see what this is. But I did watch this guy, and it made me think a little bit about kind of the defensive line discussion that we were having yesterday.
Alex Foster?
Yeah, I think it was Alex. Alex, is he committed to Baylor?
Yeah,
he's
from Mississippi.
Baylor class.
Yeah. And you look at him,
250.
No, that isn't right. That is
6'5". I see 6'5", 250 on 247, and it has Texas and Kentucky as cool.
If that kid weighs 250, I weigh 175.
Rivals has him at 6'4", 280.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's a really big defensive, but was weird. He's like a stand-up defensive end, and a little bit of a 3-4 kind of hybrid defense that they have. And but dude, he can move really well for a guy that's listed at what'd you say, Blake? 280? I mean, actually, guy, if he's really 280, he moves really well for a 280. I think he's only a 3-star, but dude, Texas needs depth at these defensive tackle positions, and like we said, he's even though he's listed as a defensive end, they're recruiting that guy's a tackle, 100% recruiting that guy's a 3 technique. So we'll just see what happens with that, and then if it has any bearing, what happens with Alfred Collins, kind of like we discussed yesterday. Let's see, Oscar Elizondo with this isn't really it's not really an L, because the turkey from Rudy's is actually one of the things that it's kind of hard, whenever you get those nice turkey breasts, and if you just smoke them at the correct temperature. The secret to cooking the turkey, though, and getting that super awesome kind of golden brown glaze on the outside, it's going to sound disgusting, but guess what you got to do, Cody? You got to rub mayonnaise on it as the binder.
Mayonnaise?
Yeah, the mayonnaise kind of, all mayonnaise is kind of oils and stuff like that. It just kind of droops down into it. It keeps it nice and moist, and then you can put all the the paprika and stuff on top of there, and it gives it, it kind of actually helps make it sort of like a browner color on the outside. And Sammy's saying, "Ooh, I understand. It sounds gross, but it really does."
Yeah,
C. Shearman,
mustard's
C. Shearman is blue plate only. C. Shearman knows about blue plate mayo. Dude, I mean, never. Oh gosh, he's never going to give up the crown as the sharpest in the chat. Yeah, but yes,
he's a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh goodness, yeah, blue plates by far. I mean, yeah, you haven't eaten mayo until you've had blue plate. You guys ready for some? You guys ready for some
little NFL news? I wanted you to get your thoughts on this one, Alex, before we jump in here. Is Tier Tart, who was playing on a second round tender? This is NFL, not college, but Tier Tart was cut by the Titans today.
Why?
I don't know. It just Vrabel was asked about it. This is from Teron Davenport. He says Tart was playing on a $4.3 million second round tender. Mike Vrabel said, "No big deal." During his presser earlier.
No big deal. Him and Jeffrey Simmons were the heart of that run defense.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I know he's been banged up a little bit this year, but I was like, what? When I saw that, I had to read it 3 times. So,
well, I wonder what the waiver order looks like right now. I haven't looked in a long time.
I guess he wanted more money, but I don't know, dude. They got money next year, so I don't know really what the deal is. But
if there's a team that has money, it's the Titans.
I will say now that does move up. So talking about Texas, that does move up one former Texas Longhorn, Keandre Coburn's now second at nose tackle behind Quentin Bohannon.
I forgot that he got waived by the Chiefs, and now he's a Titan. Mm-hmm. So Coburn is now Coburn's now firmly on the 2 deep there. Hopefully his pad level. Hopefully his pad level is better than it was last season.
Hey, can I just say real quick? I got the Texas High School Football State Championships on over here, and there's something so glorious about Belleville just now, who runs the slot T, throwing a beautiful 75-yard touchdown pass out of the slot T.
What channel is that on? I'm going to put it on during a break.
Southwest.
Okay, all right. What is it? The 1A right now or something?
This is 4A Division 2, I think.
What team did you say it was?
4A.
Belleville.
Belleville.
And, Belleville. Okay.
And Gilmer.
Okay.
Did you see? I know this is kind of maybe off topic again, but you guys were talking about, especially 2 days ago when Kobe Black signed. I can't remember who you had on, Alex, but you guys asked him about Kwan Lacey and the running back, and he basically said that it was almost a sure thing that he was going to Ole Miss, and that's where all the crystal balls were. But he ended up going to Missouri.
Huh. That was Gorney.
Gorney. There you go. What was his name? Was it
Adam Gorney?
Adam Gorney. There. I was going to say Alex. But anyway, yeah. So Kwan Lacey, I saw yesterday, went to Missouri instead of Ole Miss, which I thought was kind of a surprise.
No, they got that guy drunk. They got Drunkwitz, who's talking about this one season that people are all riding high on him now.
Drinkwitz,
whatever his name. Drinkwitz. Eli Drunkwitz.
Maddie was texting me, and Maddie likes Kwan Lacey for some reason. I don't know why. Maddie Kiwum, and he was like, imagine if. Or he said, look at this offense now with Cook and Burden and now Kwan Lacey. And I was like, imagine if they didn't miss out on Rhino Ingo. Then potentially Missouri would be, hey, cooking with a little something, but they're not going to be doing that.
All right. So we got that going on. And look, we're going to keep we're going to keep our eye on everything here for you guys through it. People are asking about the Dominic McKinley stuff. I don't have any new news on that. I believe Jason, and can you check on this, Blake? But just do a search on the forums. Jason said that they were going in home today. Here, I'll just look and see. So yeah, Dominic McKinley. Okay, so Dominic McKinley update from Monday was that. So Dominic McKinley, he's committed to A&M, but clearly, gosh, man, a bunch of D-line stuff. I knew these chickens were going to come home to roost as we got closer and closer to the early signing day. So he said on Monday, and I don't know if this changes, but the in-home will be on Friday. So that's something that if you stay tuned to Orange Bloods, I'm sure that Jason's going to have an update here, as soon as he can get a hold of the young man. So we'll see what happens there. Okay. We ready for final takes?
Let's get it.
Ready?
Play the intro.
Trying to get our two boys ready to carry them to golf tournament before practice, right? 12 cats live across the road. Our door's open. Screen's broke. We need to get a new screen door, but the screen's broke, so you can come in through the screen, but you can't get back out of it. I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, all crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here. Looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
We need more dogs.
More dogs.
Man, we got the big dogs here, man. We got the big dogs. We're here ready to eat. Just a quick reminder to make sure and vote for me in the voting, and just keep it in mind that your life is. Your life is always better whenever Alex wins and final takes Friday. So with that being said,
let's kick it off. Let's start with a fun one. Which sports media personality would you pick to be the next linebackers coach at Texas? Go.
So it's got to be. So this is one that I came up with. I just said, okay, if you had to pick somebody in the sports media. I don't have my answer. I'd like to just look on like ESPN and see what's like ESPN broadcasters or something, because there has to be somebody who's an ex coach.
AJ Hawk. I'll take AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk. That's probably a pretty good one, man. Right?
I'll take AJ Hawk.
Give me.
He'd never do it because he's so loyal to Ohio State, but I'll take AJ Hawk.
Well, no, you can pick him, right? You can pick him.
No, I know, but I'm saying like in hindsight, like if you're thinking about it in realistic terms, he probably wouldn't want to do it. Like he wouldn't be dedicated to he would come do it, but yeah. See, Sherman said he's got a bunch of kids. He lives in Ohio. He's like a truther to Ohio State. Like, but if he was a hypothetical Texas alum, like that would be 100%.
Well, what about Teddy Bruschi?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, epic Hall of Fame linebacker. The question is, would he be able to recruit, or would he have the interest in recruiting? I don't know. I mean, technically, could I say Urban Meyer?
I mean, technically.
I think yeah. Well, that's the answer. I'd want Urban Meyer to come coach linebackers.
If you're in that direction, I'm going to go John Gruden. Then I'm going to go John Gruden.
Well, but he's not a personality anymore. He got fired. I think it'd be Urban.
Okay.
Oh, well, wait. They're saying Derek Johnson.
Sandman's got a good one too. Brian Jones. That would just be fun.
I mean, I love Brian Jones, man, but I think I would rather have Teddy Bruschi. Yeah, Teddy Bruschi or Urban Meyer. So that's a pretty. Yeah, I mean, those guys would fit much better in Austin than AJ Hawk. He doesn't want to come here anyway.
I know.
Like you said, too loyal to Ohio State. C. Sherman says 60 kids. No thanks, man. We don't need that stuff. We need somebody who's going to come and be loyal to the Longhorns, loyal to the brand. Keep bring in Urban Meyer.
Yeah, Urban Meyer, known for his loyalty.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that'll be mine.
All right. Next one on a scale 1 to 10. How big a deal is it that Derek Williams is going to sit out the first half against Washington?
Do you have a take on this, Cody? This was something that I should have looked this up before I got on because I wanted to look and see how much he's actually played in the first half of these games anyway, right? But
on the surface, I don't really have a take for it. I would put it at like a 5.5, 6. Feels like that's a pretty soft analysis. But that second half of the last game against Oklahoma State was fine. Obviously, they didn't really need him, but I think that the depth at the safety position will be just fine. It's literally just, if you think about it, it's probably going to be in 4 or 5 possessions, and if you whittle it down, maybe one or two of those ends up being a 3 and out. Two of them ends up being 5, 6, 7 plays. I just think the overall depth on the back end, they'll be able to, over the course of 3 weeks, prepare for that.
Okay, we're gonna do an exercise here, and I hope this doesn't take very long, but I think this will help me inform my answer. So in the Rice game, first game of the season, Derek Williams got in the second series of the game. That's the only series that he played in the first half. In the Alabama game, Derek Williams got in. When did he get in? Jeez, did he not play? Did Derek Williams not play versus?
You're the one with the data.
I don't see Derek Williams on my chart for the Alabama game, so I'm going to check that on the defensive player participation though. For the Wyoming participation, Derek Williams got in the 4th series of the game. And he stayed in the 5th series of the game. And then in the 6th series, he didn't play, and then it went to half. So he played 2 series out of 6 in that game in the first half. Versus Baylor, he played in the 4th series of the game, and he played the 5th series of the game and the 6th series of the game. So there was, 9 series in that game in the first half versus Baylor on defense. And he played in 3 of them. So kind of like a 1/3 participant in the first half of that one. Kansas, he didn't get in until he got in. He didn't play in the first half versus Kansas. OU, he did. So OU, he played in the 2nd series. U of H, he played in the 3rd series. He also played in the 6th series, and he played a lot of snaps in that game because the 6th series was a big, long series to end the half. So it feels like he's playing more and more as the season goes on, right? Earlier and earlier. Where to the next game here, BYU, he's in the 3rd series. Let's see, Kansas State, he's in on the 3rd series. So, I mean, he's playing a little bit more than I kind of thought here in these first half of games. Maybe I'm anchored to what was happening earlier in the year. Yeah, I mean, versus TCU, the 4th and the 5th series to end the half, versus Iowa State, the 3rd series and the 4th series and the 5th series to end the half. The Texas Tech game in on the second series, 3rd series, 5th series. He's actually playing a lot more now. Big 12 championship game, plays in the 3rd series and the whole 4th series and the 6th series. So he's actually playing a lot now in the first half of games. So I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, considering the fact that Jaron Thompson and Michael Taff are fine, my main concern is that when they do rotate in somebody in, it's going to be Keaton Crawford, and I worry about him. Certainly worry about him against these wide receivers. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say it's not a small deal. It stinks. What did you give it, Cody? A 6 out of 10?
5.5, 6. That's what I said.
I say 6.5, and that's a far better answer.
Only because I had 10 minutes of research on top of it.
Well, hey, man, hey, we have to do it. Look, hey, man, we have
Took you 8 minutes to get to the same answer.
Well, it's not. Well, look, I mean, I'm trying to impart some information here. Chad Gibson's asking any truth to the possibility of Ryan Watts playing some safety. Man, I think there's a lot of truth to the fact that Going to Catch Him sources said it, but like I told Catch whenever he was on the show Wednesday, I don't see it. I don't see that unless like I said, it feels like Taft and Jaron Thompson are going to be fine. So I don't think you need to take such drastic measures to where you give somebody a complete position change before a college football playoff matchup here with Washington. So,
and real quick, Chad Gibson was in the chat earlier today asking about the scholarship board. So here it is. You can screenshot it, check it out. You wanted it, there it is.
All right,
fully updated.
There's the scholarship board. So. Fully updated, and I'm sure to be updated through the rest of the week. Man, we have a bunch more final takes questions to get to that we'll get to through the rest of this show. We're going to continue with this next.
I'm assuming we get number 2 next, and I'm assuming obviously that would be Washington, unless they want to get kooky and go to the bottom and give us 6. But I'm assuming we get number 2. Oh, they're going to say it and then cut away to Harbaugh. They cut away to Jim Harbaugh watching, and now we see the clap reaction in Indianapolis. So we are really slow burning this one. Michigan's won. Jim Harbaugh is clapping and sending someone to all 3 of the prospective
Harbaugh had
opponents.
the signals before the announcement was ever made.
Yes, he did.
Knew.
Yeah, well
He
played.
hired someone to be in the room. They'll buy a ticket to be in the ESPN production room.
The number 2 team we would assume is next. It is, and it's Washington. All right, there's no shock. 2 undefeateds, 2 that we knew if they're undefeated and they win, they get in. They're in. Michigan's in the 1-4 game. Washington is in the 2-3 game. DeBoer and his crew, well-deserving, like Jason said, beat Oregon twice. Now, this may be Texas next. This may be the moment, Texas fans, you've been waiting on, because number 3 would be next. Number 3 is next. If it's Texas, then all this hard work, this is why you lift those weights. This is why you do all that
and
shit.
Washington's not having a party, so we don't have to
cutting
do
away
the
to
cutaway
Washington.
shot.
Exactly. Could it be Texas? Could it be Texas at number 3? It's got to be the next thing they announce. This could be Texas. Or is it going to be Bama? Or is it going to be Florida State because they're undefeated and they're really weird and they're going to put them at 3? We'll see. Michigan won.
Put Georgia
Washington
5.
Texas is in. Texas is
Yes!
in. This just in.
3.
Texas is in. They are the 3 seed. Texas and Washington will have a rematch. It's probably, well, I don't know if it's going to be Rose Bowl or not. We'll have to, it may be Atlanta.
That's going to be a fun game. That should be
They're
a
gonna be-
fun
They're
game.
in. They're about to show the reaction. They just went crazy. Phones are being utilized in Austin, Texas to video and take pictures. Things are being thrown. Anwar Richardson is probably being pushed and pulled. Steve Sarkisian is looking very excited. Texas is in. Congratulations, Longhorn fans. You put on the show you needed to put on. The Undertaker gave viewers a belt, and the committee couldn't say no to you.
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
Oh, yes, we're back. Cheers to Specs. Cheers to savings. Man, oh, God, so pumped to be here with you guys. Gosh, just a big day here on Orange Bloods Live, here on Football with Friends. A bit of a rainy day, man, but we're just super pumped to have you guys all here with us in the chat. Another reminder at the top, if you guys could please just like the show, subscribe to the channel, click to get the notifications. You make sure that you know whenever there's a new show coming up on here, and sign up for the College Bowl Pick'em, College Football Pick'em. Look, I'm just asking you to sign up because I want us all to have some fun. That's all. Like, I just wanted to be like, I don't want to just be like, you know, talking about these games and talking about who's in the lead and stuff like that, and only have like 20 of us in there where no one else cares. So go to the App Store, just download the Angel Fire games. It's super easy. It takes 2 seconds, and then follow the link that is on the that's on the top of the chat, and Blake will also put one if you're watching later, just as a comment underneath the YouTube video. So you just need to make sure and get them in by the time these games kick off tomorrow. And I think these cockamamie early games kick off at like 11 a.m. or something tomorrow, right? So, Cody, do you have any games from this weekend that you're super interested in watching?
Firstly, I just want to say there's only 33 people. 33 people have joined this thing, and I'm pretty positive there's more than 33 people in the chat.
It's a free shot at like quite a bit of money. So
yeah, I mean, you have a shot to make like $500, or I mean, at least, I mean, somebody's going to make $100. Somebody's going to make $50. I mean, somebody's going to make the money.
It's not only just the Football with Friends one, which is available and has a much smaller field and is money, but there's also just having the app downloaded. There's a bigger bowl giveaway that they're doing, which is $1,000 to first place. So,
and $5
opportunities,
all the games,
more free opportunities.
Yeah, and that one gives you $5K. It's just I'm asking you to sign up to this one just so we can have one for our little community here. But once you download,
what I'm saying is like people are being hestant. Like, just go download the app now today.
Yeah, once you download it, yeah, it's free. But like Byron's giving away a free $1,000 to the winner of the big bowl pick'em. So you can put. Whoa, what is this?
This is something Richard Arias sent. Pretty cool painting.
Is this Richard's painting?
No, Richard didn't do that. That's amazing, man. What's that? That's a dog called Spot. That's a dog named Spot, man. That's awesome. It's a cool looking. It's a cool looking painting. Do you have that in your house, Richard Arias? I mean, that's a.
He said this is at my mental health doctor's show. Hold on. Oh, and it was at his mental health doctor's office, I think. And then he was sending it in reference to Anwar, and his in November specifically, he was doing a thing for 998 and the foundation that's helping people with mental health and things like that. And it's a cool painting.
Yeah, well, good work. I think it's very nice. It's
I kind of one of those in my house.
Kind of pales in comparison to that deer head that Jay Ward has in his office where he hangs his hats from and stuff like that. But I mean, I'll take the spotted dog too. I love it, man. I love it. Thank you for sending that in, Richard Arias. Certainly, if you guys have stuff you'd like to share with the show like that, that's what makes the show fun, man, is you guys. So you can always email me, alex@rosterwatch.com. You can email Blake. He's always putting I don't know what his email is, but
ScagsOB. I'll put it in the chat. ScagsOB@gmail.com.
Send us photos, send us videos, whatever you want to send, man. Like, we'd love to see a picture of a painted spotted dog at some dude's psychiatrist office. It's great. Okay. Let's go to the are we gonna do?
Yeah. How you know?
Richard Arias says, "How do you know I didn't do that?" That's just a guess. I don't know, Richard. Maybe you're super good at that. I don't think you'd be. I don't think you'd be hanging out here with us on Football with Friends if you had those kinds of painting skills, man. I think you'd be spending your time putting pen to paper and making some cash.
Yeah, there we go.
This is from my dad. Actually, he sent this to me the other day. This is in our neighborhood, my parents' neighborhood in Horseshoe Bay. This guy's just rolling around,
high and tight. But look, he's it's a good man. It's a good looking buck
for a neighborhood buck.
For a neighborhood buck, it's amazing. And you know what? Like, a lot of the neighborhood bucks you see around here, there was one that I saw over at the Hills, like in the Hills Country Club, or walking around the Hills Country Club the other day, and it's like. He'll have he has like half a rack that's good, but I think he's like around the golf courses so much to where he probably eats a bunch of that pesticide and stuff. So one's all weird, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a bunch of golf
upside down.
Yeah, like you got a bunch of golf courses and like weird stuff like that out there where your parents. What's that rich people's place called again? I drive by it every time on the way to Llano. What's it called? Horseshoe Bay, right?
Oh yeah, the city.
Yeah, like that's where they live, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a city as much as it's like is it a city? It's more like a resort.
Well, there is a resort. That's kind of, but there's more to it than just a resort.
How close do your parents live to that resort?
I don't know, a mile or two.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not very big.
I mean, but you can take the golf cart down there and get food at the resort and stuff like that, and put it on your parents' card and everything. Yeah. This resort style.
No, but
so,
we
so
don't
you're not,
have a membership though.
you're not allowed to. What don't you have to have a social membership if you live there?
No, you don't have to.
I think that they might make you at least have a social one. Just they don't make you buy golf or tennis or anything.
If you're in a specific area, yes. But
okay. Well, maybe they do allow archery in that area if the HOA doesn't make you have to be, Hey, has Restream fixed its bugs today? It doesn't feel like it's messed up again.
we've been good.
Okay. All right. Knock on wood.
I don't know why you'd say something, but
Tempting fate, dude. Okay. All right. Back to the final takes. Let's see here. I think I just we can get back to the final takes. Somebody asked in the chat about who was it they asked about if they were early enrollees.
City.
and we need to Gun Barrel City. We need to make this Rep More 77. Maybe I'm just gonna put together a list and see if I can figure out on my own who's early enrollee and who's not, because I'd like a definitive list. I know that at the press conference that we'll have after early signing day, Sark usually says that the guys who are going to be enrolling early. So
it's usually like 90% of them. Like these days, it's almost all of them. Very few are waiting until February.
So I'm not aware, but I did text Jason, and Jason said so Hampton is for sure, and he says he's pretty sure that Mac is too, but he says he's 100% sure on Hampton. He's pretty sure on Mac. So as far as those two guys. So anyway, all right.
Final takes. Yeah, we better.
Hey, no dogs.
All right. If you could pick the opponent that Texas would hypothetically face in the national championship game between Michigan and Bama, you'd choose
Michigan.
Why?
Nobody wants to play Bama. I don't want to play Bama. I said this a week ago why I didn't want to play Bama. Michigan matches up much better. You're not afraid of their passing game. They have one receiver, and their quarterback's very good, but he doesn't have a dynamic. He doesn't have a dynamism feature, which Jalen Milroe brings to the table. They don't have a defense that's on I think the same level as Alabama, and I think it's a team that Texas can score on, and I think it's a team that Texas can limit on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, my answer is the same. I think I'd rather Texas play Michigan. And we had a question similar to this last week. It wasn't exactly the same, but my answer to that one was the whole thing where I said, like, it might be tough to beat Bama twice, right? It's like, I mean, but I do agree with you. It's like whenever a team has come in with an Ollie Gordon, or, how you think about they come in with the Blake Corum. Cody, what happened with Donovan Edwards this year? He got sat on the bench. Did he get hurt?
Blake Corum came back 100%.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
But what about the outburst that Donovan Edwards had to end last season?
Yeah, I know you saw like very, very, very small spurts of what he could do this year, but it just wasn't the same. I'm not sure if I guess I haven't tracked him close enough to know if there was an injury there or not, but yeah, I don't know. I saw spurts in every once in a while, but I didn't just.
Corum, whenever they face somebody like this, I don't think that I don't think you can't make Michigan one-dimensional and to make them play left-handed the same way that you could do with Oklahoma State, right? You can't do it. They've got better athletes. They're better coached, but I do think just the way the Texas defense is built right now, if that's your nuclear weapon, if that's your guy, right, the ability to take him out or the ability to at least neutralize him does work a lot more in Texas' favor. Whereas one of the things that Texas has had somewhat of an issue with in the games that they've lost, and the one game that they've lost with Dylan Gabriel, letting him slip out, letting him gain, semi-substantial yardage on just it wasn't just killing you by paper cuts. It was killing you but it was kind of killing you by the little, like in MMA, Cody, whenever they, they just kick each other in the underneath the knee, just sort of on the side of the calf and in the shin and stuff like that over and over and over. And by the end, their legs are like purple and they look like burger and stuff. I think it's more like not by killing them with paper cuts, but killing them with more like those kinds of blows, to where it really, like, over the course of a game, if you got a guy like that, like you said, that dynamism, that ability to rush from the quarterback position, make the defense, make the defense have to take one of their linebackers out of the game just to completely be a spy on this guy, and like his run fits always have to be right. It just presents a whole different category of trouble than it does, a really, really good running back and a really good rushing attack and an awesome scheme having to go up against a kind of an immovable force that you don't even have to tinker with that much in Sweat and Murphy. So that's why I'm going to say Michigan. I would prefer Texas played Michigan. What do you think the chances are that Michigan can beat Alabama? Are you going to be openly rooting for Michigan? I'll
root for them, but like, if this will probably be a question next week or whatever, maybe today, it doesn't matter. If I had to, I'd say 34-17 Bama. That's like where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of same page.
Man, it's gonna be a fun day, boys. It's gonna be a fun day. Yeah, dude. I don't have to work on that day, do I? That day does not. Is that a Saturday?
That's a
6-hour football with friends marathon, I thought.
No, well, not that. I mean Sirius XM. Do we have a show that day?
I think they're both on Monday. Both those games are on Monday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Our last Sirius show's on that Saturday, so it's the 30th.
Perfect. All right.
All right, checking back in on Alfred Collins. Will he stay for another year at Texas, and should he stay for another year at Texas?
This is one I sent in, and I want to hear from Cody, because I texted with the source last night. This is one that Cody knows very well, who's a very connected agent around Texas. Okay, so we'll just put that out there.
Would be in on a Collins.
What?
And would potentially be in on a Collins.
He's potentially in on a lot of Texas guys, right? Yeah. So here's what he said. Okay. So I said, random question. Have you heard anything about Alfred Collins leaning towards coming back? Right? He said, yep, there's a chance he comes back. Yep. So I said, yep, twice. And he said, I said that he said, like, what are you hearing, and what, from like your sources around the team or whatever. And I said that, the only thing that I've heard is that some of the Sark has talked to some. I think it's pretty much out there via our reporting, and if it's not, fine. I mean, you're hearing it here. Sark has told the NIL guys that he's interested in bringing Alfred Collins back, and like, if he can do that, make sure that we can do this, and make sure, like, just in case, let's make sure our ducks are in a row to where we can have something nice for the guy and all that stuff. And he asked me to put a percentage on it. He said, what do they think that the percentage is? Is it 50-50? Like, what are you hearing from your side? And I said, like, I haven't heard a percentage. I've just, like, that's literally what I've heard. And he said that, and I told him, I'm usually on the side of telling those dudes to leave, but I do think Collins could benefit from returning. Who knows, though? He has a Senior Bowl invite, which indicates at least a round 5 grade at defensive tackle. He texted back. He said, I think he still ends up going rounds 3 or 4. I still think he should come out. I just don't know if he does. I don't think he can do what Sweat did last year. I know that's what Sark is probably going to pitch to him, but I don't think Collins is that kind of player.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an interesting take, and I told him that's exactly right. I said that Collins is just he's a different breed of, not breed of cat, different breed of dog, right? Because we're all talking about dogs around here, right? None of that meow meow. But Collins, with him, you wonder, with T'Vondre Sweat, I don't think it was anything where we thought before the season started that, gosh, if he could just be, if he could just use the flashes that he's had, and if he could just build on that and all the rest. What he came out and did, the way that he blew up was a really unexpected thing, but it was something that you could at least kind of picture in your mind's eye because why? Well, you've always known that he's had really good feet, that he can move well, and he's an absolute giant, right? The things that we know about Alfred Collins is he's got really long arms and he's been super inconsistent, but he's had these good flashes. He's not bad holding up against the run. Although he seems to me like do you know what I'm saying, Cody? It feels to me like with Collins, it's kind of like at this point, I think he is what he is. With Sweat, there was at least this this kind of gravitas that he had to him, to where you could say like, well, man, if it really all came together for him, I mean, God, just look at him. And I guess Alfred Collins sort of has that too, because he does have he looks like Tarzan. So maybe I'm just kind of wrong about inconsistencies weren't necessarily an issue that would worry me. What for some reason, whenever he said that, it really rang true to me, though. I think he could benefit. I think Texas could benefit from having him back. I don't think he would hurt himself greatly for coming back, but if he can go round 3 or round 4, man, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure he's going to elevate his stock in the same way that Sweat did this last season.
I 100% think if he hears the word round 3, it's a wrap. If he hears that uttered out of anybody's mouth, potentially round 3, 4. If he hears the word 3, he's out. He's gone. Like, that has to be knowing in his mind, like the role he had this year, what he put out there. I mean, if I hear the word round 3 and I'm him, I'm gone. Like you talked about, Nagy always talks about the 5th round kind of break off right there. He also talks a lot of people that we talk to in the space talk about the length and projecting and all those things at the defensive line position. And that's one thing when you look at Alfred Collins, he looks like he's a guy that's probably going to measure upper 35, maybe 36-inch arms. Like, those are things that teams directly look at, and they're like, we can teach that guy how to do X. And he's shown enough in certain opportunities to which NFL teams will love that. So, and that round that you always hear, the projection round, is that round 4 is when they start to, all right, well, I'll take a gamble on this guy. So yeah, if he does hear round 3, 4, like, that's 100% plausible, and would understand him going out. My question for you is, he obviously, we've heard, and it seems like right now some of the upper conversations are like, $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million for quarterbacks and stuff along these lines. What does it even sound like if you're like, hey, Alfred, come back, we'll give you what, $80K? Like, I'm just spitballing here, but like, what's the number even look like for a guy like that that's currently projected? Call it round 4. Hey, come back, you're going to be round 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure what the selling point would be other than, yeah, you could come back and play on a really good football team.
No, well, no, the selling point would be, and look, I don't think that this is necessarily true, right? And Blake, I kind of see Cody, like, am I screwing up at all? I think Cody kind of froze up a little bit. Am I good?
For a second, but I think we're good now.
So I am too. Are we all kind of? Is this restream?
We're good at the moment.
Tilting me, man. But I'm such an OCD person, dude. It's just like if things aren't just right, man. It's like, yeah. What was I saying? Like, oh gosh, I get tilted myself. Oh yeah. So about Collins, I don't think that it's a. I'm like my friend who I texted with. I'm not sure I kind of think he might kind of be what he is, and I think he'll kind of be the same player. But it is such a convincing argument to make to him, to say you saw what happened with Tavondre. You saw what happened with Tavondre with your own 2 eyes. He could have left last year. He was thinking about leaving. Same as you. You saw what happened with him. He came back and he won the Outland Trophy, and he's a first-team All-American. He's a consensus first-team All-American across every major deal. You know what I mean?
I like it.
And now he's.
I see that, but I don't get that from a Sark position.
Sark is pitching.
This guy's 50 pounds lighter. He's 50 pounds lighter than Sweat. He doesn't move. He doesn't have the footwork Sweat does. He has better length. They're not.
But he has his own thing, right? We saw with.
He's his own thing. Exactly. That's the point. Like, oh, you can take the next step up like this, but like that was. I get it, but like I just said, like what you're promising this guy. Like if this guy hears round 3, round 4, and he knows round 4 is a projection, he knows he got the Senior Bowl invite to back on. He knows there's a lot of very good defensive linemen going to the Senior Bowl and offensive linemen. There's an opportunity for him to make his name there. What does it look like? You go, hey man, you could potentially go round 2, and we'll give you $80,000 to come back. Like $80,000, and you could potentially go, $120K, and you can go round 2 next year, or you can go now, go to the Senior Bowl, and potentially go round 3. Like it's one. He's not gonna be a guy that goes and turns into Trayvon Walker. He's not gonna be a top 5 pick.
I mean, why could? Well, I mean, what the idiot Raiders took Tyree Wilson.
Listen,
as I was watching Jalen Carter running like a touchdown or something last week, I was just thinking to myself, I can't believe they took Tyree Wilson over this guy. I can't believe it.
Hey.
South End Zone Queens asking, what sites do you all use? I Googled his draft grade yesterday. I said it came back to UDFA. It's like, look, man, they in South End Zone Queens, right? Like whenever you said 80K and you bumped up to 120, we're talking bumping it up a good bit more than we're talking more like half a mil.
To what? Like this is what?
But just
so
question,
but just it's a dead honest question though, because they're saying like quarterbacks are like $1 million, $1.5 million. Look at what Alfred Collins is and tell me he's worth $500,000.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what Sark thinks. And it might not be that he is.
I'm just being honest.
Look, I'm being honest too. I'm like, this isn't me saying that I think Alfred Collins is worth giving $500K to. I'm not saying I think that he's that good a player. Like we're both being honest here. It's like we're not coming on here lying. What I'm saying is that for what he could possibly mean to the team, as far as just being a good, solid I mean, dude, they're going to come back in and have Trill Carter or Vernon Broughton be a starter if it's not him. They just are. Maybe both. Can you imagine?
I think I'm Blake said the same thing. I think Sadir Mitchell's going to have.
But I love Sadir Mitchell. I mean, I've talked about him over and over. I mean, I get it. But have you seen anything that shows you anything from the usage that we've seen so far this year? They've only given him 10 snaps in the regular season. They gave Aaron Bryant 5 times as many snaps. And South End Zone Queen asked about which sites we use, and you probably just know us from this stuff, but you don't know that me and Cody are like we're draft analysts. We work in the draft media. I have a site called Roster Watch. You know, me and Cody work there, but we also do stuff on Sirius XM, Fantasy Sports Radio, occasionally Sirius XM, NFL Radio, covering the draft. And for us, we're just kind of talking shop as guys who are going to be reporting on this throughout this. So if you saw that on a site that he's a UDFA, for one, it's super early right now. For two, nobody even knows if he's coming out right now. And for three, he doesn't have a UDFA grade, South End Zone Queen right now because he got a Senior Bowl invite. And the fact that he got a Senior Bowl invite means he has at least a round 5 grade consensus from at least 2/3 of the NFL teams, because that's what Jim Nagy looks for. He's not going to invite guys to the Senior Bowl that have UDFA grades. So it's just like if he's listed that way, that isn't exactly right. The conversation is where his grade should be, where it is right now. 5th round feels sort of like the bottom of where it is, and then how far up could he kind of go from? Could he go from there? So she's asking.
Did Stutzman get a Senior Bowl invite? Do y'all know?
Well, no, not yet, because Stutzman's coming back now, and they would have waited to see if he would have officially declared.
But they didn't give him one from the initial.
So they send out a lot of invitations, but they're not always made public. He says he sends them out to teams. Like he said, he sent one to Kirby Smart, but Kirby Smart wants Beck to come. So for Carson Beck, the quarterback, but he's like, he wants Beck to come back. So he might talk him into not accepting it. But like, unless Jim Nagy says that, sometimes you don't know about some of the people that they actually invite.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
There's a possibility that Stutzman was, but it's not made public yet, at least.
Yeah. Oh, he's the kind of guy that would have, Stutzman would have, if he would have decided to come out, I'll bet you he would have been the underclassman who they invited. Yeah. And I'll bet you, kind of just based on what you can tell about his personality, and also the fact that he's an inside linebacker that would like to show some, like anytime an inside linebacker gets an invite, they're going to say, hell yes, I'm going, because I want to be able to show that I have versatility to maybe play off the edge, play in the slot, play in sub packages and stuff like that to make my value a little bit higher, because we all know that guards, running backs, off-ball linebackers are all devalued in NFL right now as far as their salaries and as far as their contracts. And if you can show that you have the versatility to maybe do something else, you can really help your draft capital. So I would think that he would be invited, and he would have gone, and he'll probably be invited next year.
Speaking of, check this out. What South End Zone Queen sent us. Look at this. From her Kenyan safari.
A black. What did she get caught inside the lion's stomach or something like that?
No, it's just cool.
Listen.
All I see is a black screen. Am I crazy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I guess that's just on your end.
Okay.
Do you see it, Cody?
No, it's black screen, dog.
Oh, okay. I think the people are able to see it, but I'm not sure if y'all are. There's some lions.
I want to see it. It's lions on a Kenyan safari. Let's get it. Okay, so everyone's saying that.
They're not getting it either?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's a restream issue. Then.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah,
It was playing on my end. I'll pull it up,
South End Zone Queen got eaten by a tiger and was filming the inside of there or something. I guess
we can go screen share here.
Yeah. I do want to see it. Oh, I can see this in the preview. Oh, dude. Nice. Oh, I hope you didn't get to. I hope you didn't. Oh God. I mean, how you
truck?
Wow, man. They look so docile and friendly and stuff. If you got out of there near the little lion cubs, that thing would tear your limbs off of your body in 2 seconds, man. My God. It's amazing.
Don't y'all want to do this? I want to do this.
Oh, dude, absolutely, man. I always thought it'd be fun to I have a friend, I'd say family member. I'm not exactly sure what to call him, but he was in the friends with my dad and uncles and stuff.
Jacked. And
he was in the military.
We allow these kind of cats.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. Those are the cats that we do allow for sure. They like back in the day, maybe they still do it, but when they got done with their military service and stuff like that, there used to be a company where they would hire them on to go to Africa, like the Serengeti and stuff like that. The local governments, they would hire these guys to be like hired guns with military experience to go and like blast all the poachers, because the poachers come and kill these animals and stuff like that, and your whole job will be to go hunt these dudes down and find the poachers. Sounds like an intense job, man, to have right out of the military, but he said so many dudes did it because it was really good pay, and it helped them to kind of transition back into out of the military service. There's South End Zone Queen. I've definitely met her before, and there are no doors. Oh God.
Ooh, I think I'd like some doors.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Please,
I wouldn't have wanted to get that close. It's like you've seen the videos of where this stuff can go bad. This stuff can go bad. Oh, Jay Ward saying that the special forces still have that. I thought that was only back in like the 70s or something. I guess they still do it. Be a cool job. I mean, be kind of fun. Be probably pretty scary. Not just animals, but poachers out there trying to kill you. Anyway, great stuff, South End Zone Queen. Thank you for sending it, man. If you guys want to send anything else, you always can. Alex@rosterwatch.com. And look, we have so much more of this to get to. We've had lions. We've had a spotted dog from the shrink's office. I mean, how many things are we? How much are we going to cover here today, man? It's more than I could ever imagine, man. And look, we're rolling on with the fun. Next,
Casey says in the super chat, was hoping for a Texas Bama rematch given the history of what happened in 2009. Yes, I'm getting ahead of myself, but man, I want that revenge bad. Casey, yeah. I'm telling you, like. That's what I think you're getting. I think the national championship is going to be Texas versus Alabama. And
I'm saying Texas is opened at 4.5-point favorites. Dude, that's a little surprising. I mean, in the Michigan 2.5-point favorites over Alabama. That's the early line already. So.
Here's your $1 million question from Steven for $9.99. Texas secondary versus Washington passing game. Is Texas up to the task? # Longhorns.
Yeah.
It's the worst possible matchup, I think, from a football standpoint that Texas could have been given, because Michigan, J.J. McCarthy's a good player, but their passing game isn't what Washington is. And we know Texas's kryptonite is a really good quarterback. They've seen 3 of them this year, and all 3 of them have had at least some really, at the very least, some modest. What would we call what Milroe did in Tuscaloosa? Was that modest success, or even something a little bit beyond that?
You're talking about just in that game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he ended up throwing for like 270 or something like that.
Had
Alabama in the lead, and then Texas storms into the fourth quarter. But I thought
many
Milroe
turnovers
played
did he
well. And
have,
then Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard in their games obviously played really well. Longhorns win 2 of those games. They lose 1.
Yeah,
I mean, look, it's going to be a battle, guys. Texas and Washington. There's no reason to like bullshit you. I think Texas should win the game, but I fully expect it to be a fourth quarter exciting affair.
Yeah, gosh, hey, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. Of course, that's Catch and Chad, man. The I guess was the House Divided show, or that's the post game show. So there's all kinds of shows.
That
here.
was it? Yeah, which one was that? The CFP reaction show, maybe from a
Yep.
little while back. Yeah,
Richard Arias is telling me that it's not a shrink's office; it's a psychiatrist. Big difference. I always thought the psychiatrists are called shrinks. Maybe maybe I was wrong about that.
Richard Arias also sent us his pup.
Whoa, is I think it's a good boy, right? It's a good boy, right? You say it's a boy? I can't.
Looks like a good one to me.
It's like a good one to me. Yeah.
Caption says Nintendog from Super Smash.
Looks like half a testicle.
Is
there.
it a mastiff? Is it a mastiff? Richard Arias?
Looks like some sort of mastiff.
He's got the head of a mastiff, like that dog. Do you remember that movie Turner and Hooch, where he's got all the slime coming out of his mouth? I'll bet you. I'll bet you that dog slobbers. I'll bet you that dog when he gets done at the water bowl, man, lifts up and just has the
floods the house.
Yeah, man, just has the water in the.
I think you need to get him a bigger blanket, though. He's kind of curled up, covering the whole thing here.
It's a great looking dog, man. It's a good boy. But I would like to hear from Richard Arias if it's a mastiff. It's got to be some kind of mastiff, or at least a boxer mastiff mix.
There you go. Yeah.
These mixed dogs, man. I'll tell you what, Cody. I don't know. Like you always have those little King Chesapeake. What is it? Well, let me think of it. Mounted, like Cocker Span or Prince of King Calgary. That's it,
King
though,
Charles.
right?
King Charles. Now you got me messed up. Cavalier King Charles.
Cavalier King Charles. So you've always had those. Have you noticed that they have more health problems?
I've never always had them.
Dogs.
I had a German short hair pointer growing up, and he was amazing. And then he had a health problem. That's how he died. And then I never had anything until we bought this one 3 years ago.
So it's like
he hasn't had anything. He's got like a minor heart murmur, but they said that most dogs, most his breed have that. They're born with a minor heart murmur, but.
It's just maybe my selective experience. It feels like whenever we had one that was like we got it from a breeder or something. It was like they had more health. The ones you get there, there's must. There's a bunch of mix of everything. They just live to like 16 years old, never have an issue. I mean, so who knows? It's probably not right. But okay, we got more final takes.
Let's get it.
We got more final takes, but first, since we're showing dogs, here's our family dog.
Oh, look at this guy! Yeah, so wait, is your whole family Longhorn fans? I guess he's got the Longhorns. Yeah. Okay.
My sister goes to Tech, but she roots for the Longhorns.
Okay, cool. So it's a golden retriever.
Yep, golden retriever named Ford.
How old is he?
He's about 2 now. This picture's from a little while back. But
he's a good. He looks like a super good boy. Can he fetch?
He's a really good boy. Big Longhorn fan.
Can he fetch?
Oh, he can fetch. Yeah,
big tennis ball guy.
Does he live? Does he live to fetch?
For sure. He likes playing the rings too, where you hold one end and he holds the other end and he tugs for like 15 minutes, tries to get it out of your hand.
That just sounds like a dog trying to misbehave. Take something out of your hand, right? That's a game? It's like a tug of war.
Well, he'll grab the rings. It's like 3 rings attached to each other. He'll bring them up to you.
Yeah.
And then you grab one end and he'll tug at the other end.
You got the
It's fun.
do you have the thing where you can like you don't have to bend over to pick up the tennis ball, you just kind of put it down there and you can sling it with this.
Oh yeah, we've had one of those. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I went to Petco yesterday. I had to pick up some dog food before I left, and they now have essentially it's like a Nerf gun, but this thing is it's massive, and it's got like 5 tennis balls that come with it, and it supposedly launches tennis balls 60 feet.
Whoa, that's fun. It's got it's just like one of those things that shoots
like a big bazooka.
It's like one of those things that shoots the those air cannons.
T-shirt, like a T-shirt gun. Yeah, that's essentially what it is, but it's for a ball with your dog.
Why didn't I have that idea?
It's a genius. I saw a thing. I was like, "Whoa, that is massive!" And I looked at it, and I was like, "All right,
look at things.
my yard's not big enough for this."
I have the best idea, Cody, but I'm not going to say it here on the show because somebody will steal it.
Save it, trademark it.
That's fair.
All right, let's get on to final.
All right, Cody, you're going to need to explain this game to us. We're finding the edge.
Yep. We're finding the edge at the positions. So you have to give me, like you always see the boards on ESPN where they pull up and they go Ewers versus Penix, and they'll go like the slight edge towards this guy, or like, A for Ewers, B for Penix, and they obviously that side goes this way. So this one is they're going to have position versus position. We'll go across both teams, and you just give me the edge. Who do you favor in this matchup? Penix versus Ewers. And for an example, you'd put like 65% Ewers. In the inverse would be 35% Penix. And then at the end, it is what it is. And we'll see where we mostly lean as far as talent goes at the positions.
Okay.
So starting with Quinn versus Penix, where would you put that slider on the 0% to 100% for either guy?
Okay. So Cody, we go first so I can get an idea of how this goes.
Yeah. I would personally, I'm going to lean towards Penix here. I'm going to lean about 60-40. I think both guys are kind of in the same range. I think obviously Ewers, we talk about him coming back next year and then potentially getting into that draft class. I think Penix is a guy that if he hypothetically had another year, he's a guy that could put himself into first round contention, where I think Ewers has another year. But where they are currently right now, I think they're kind of very close. If they both declared, I think they both went to the draft. They're very close. But with the amount of talent that's on the Washington roster, I think Penix gets the edge here in his efficiency all season, being healthy, staying in games, not turning the ball over, and all those things considered. I think I'd give the slight edge to Penix 60-40.
Penix, let me just look at Penix's stats from this season. I know it's not comparable because the
offenses. Yeah.
Because Quinn missed 2 games, but I just want to just see kind of. So what was he? 61.4% completion percentage. What's this? What are his stats from this year? Oh, I'm sorry. So this is against AP top 25, 61.4%. He was actually 65.9%, 42-18 with 33 and 9. God, I mean, statistically, he's like, that's better than Ewers. And that's not new to anybody, right? I'm not breaking news here. I just want to see how big the difference is. So Ewers, 2023, 31-61, 21, 21 and 6 interceptions. You forget, man. Quinn went that first like 5 games of the season without a pick. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 60-40, maybe even. It's 60. Yeah. I mean, if I'm putting up Ewers against Penix right now, is that both those guys sort of stand? I mean, I know Ewers just had the big game. I don't think it's too far off. I think Ewers probably. I'd be interested to hear from you, Cody, if you just think if we're doing based on pure arm talent, I think I'd take Ewers. But just if you talk about it as a function of the offense, what they have going on with the system there, the fact is the stats speak for themselves with what he's been able to do within that system, within the parameters of it. So yeah, I think that Ewers needs to be, 85 to 90% of himself versus Oklahoma State to come in there and be a 50-50 with Penix, right? So I'm not sure that that's the most likely outcome for the game. I think it's probably more likely he regresses a little bit more to the mean, maybe 75, 70% of what he was versus Oklahoma State, which would still be a really, really good quarterback. So, yeah, I think I'd be with you on this one. It's your game you created, but yeah, I think it's 6. I think I give the slight edge to Penix, but it isn't a big one. It's a 60-40.
Real quick before we go to the next one, C. Shearman breaking that Anthony Maddox, the quarterback from Mississippi, 2024 decommits from Texas A&M.
Oh gosh! Oh gosh! You just hate to see that. Oh no! Gosh!
Oh darn it,
man! I was just bringing us the bad news like this. Come on! I mean, these Aggies are our neighbors. This is no good.
This is no good. All right, we also got a picture from Jay Ward. We got to put up.
Jay Ward, look at this. Do you think those dogs would be happy if a bad man tried walking in that house and just stealing?
Man,
good luck. Good luck.
Oh, man.
Holy cow.
I think that guy was turning around and say, "Wrong house." Oh man,
you done messed up. You walk into this house.
Okay,
messed up like Aaron.
Thank you very much to Rhett Moore in the chat saying that Xavier Filsaime made it into Austin. He's saying I have no reason not to believe Rhett Moore. He's saying that via his IG story he's in town. So Xavier Filsaime, we'll see what happens there with that, dude. It's
he in an Uber right now.
Be a big pickup, dude. Big pickup. We'll see what happens, man. It could be an interesting weekend around here, especially at the safety position.
Oh, National Signing Day. Only a few days away.
Got a lot to break down. I was thinking next week we can just go through the class, the guys we know who are committed, and just go through them, go over them, talk about them. Just get a couple of days of signing day preview and primer. It should be a fun day, man, or a fun week next week.
Let's keep finding the edge. Wide receivers. Odunze, McMillan, Polk versus Worthy, Mitchell, Sanders, Whittington.
It's like you start out with the two things where you probably got to give the obvious edge to these guys, right?
That's why we're going through all positions, though. That's why we go through the whole 9 yards because this is.
He's including Sanders in this too, by the way.
Yeah, because they don't have
a tight end of consequence.
Yeah.
I just look, man. You know how this goes, Cody. It's kind of like we talk about in fantasy trades. I want the side with where I get the best player, right? Bingo. I think that the best player here, regrettably, is Rome Odunze. I don't buy the Jamar Chase comparisons. I'm not sure that he's a Jamar Chase, but he's a really good player that can hurt you in a few different ways. And I think Worthy's a really specialized player. Mitchell, crafty player, really good. I mean, those two guys. But I think the fact when you add in Jalen Polk, I think that Jalen Polk is. Even if I saw Odunze and McMillan as equal to Worthy and Mitchell, I don't think that Sanders and Whittington as pure receiving options are the same level of dynamic and can just really, really hurt you any given play, right? The way that a guy like Polk can as your number 3. So with the fact that I think Odunze is slightly better than Worthy, if I had to choose between the two, and the fact that Polk consolidated, I feel like brings maybe a little bit more than Sanders and Whittington do just from a pure upside perspective. I have to give this slight edge. I'm going to give a 60-40 edge to Washington in this one.
I like this. I think you give Polk a little more juice than I do personally. I think
he's fast.
I understand that, but I also think we've seen a lot out of Whittington. We know what Whittington is, what he brings to the team, what his abilities are when he's pressed into situations. So I don't think he's as far off of Polk. But when you do bring up like Worthy and Mitchell versus Odunze McMillan, I think that's a very interesting one. And I think I'm a little bit closer to split just due to Sanders. Because I think Sanders being that fourth piece into this equation. If it was just 3v3, receivers on receivers, I think it would probably be like that, 65-70% in favor of Washington, to be honest with you. But because you add Sanders in there, I'm going to be about 50-50. I'm going to go straight 50-50 on this one. I think they're about equal. And I get Odunze, like you said, in a fantasy trade, you want the best piece in that. But we're talking about 3 pieces that are potentially top 50 picks, whereas McMillan, I think, is on the fringe there.
But McMillan's only on the fringe because he got hurt.
Bingo.
I mean,
that
if
goes
you
into it, and I think he's gonna be healthy for this game too. But I just think that having that fourth piece, that fourth dynamic piece, which is Sanders, who we've talked about on end, everybody knows who Jatavian Sanders is. It feels like you maybe under whatever the hell the word is for Whittington, not giving him as much juice as I am, but that's kind of where I said
underappreciated.
underappreciated. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I just don't.
I'm gonna go 50-50 though.
I don't think that Jay Witt. I love Jay Witt. You guys know I love Jay Witt. Everyone knows I love Jay Witt. Like everyone
I
knows.
know. Yeah.
I don't think he's I just don't think he's the same kind of threat to go the distance anytime you get the ball in his hands the same way that Polk is. It's like if you just watch some of the plays, like Polk has some really long explosive plays. It's just not the typical sort of play that I would expect to see out of Jay Witt. That's all.
That's fair. I mean, we've seen him go for 100 yards. We've seen him do all the things.
We've seen him catch 10 balls. I mean, I get it. It's like, I mean, I'm with you. I think Texas is a great team. I like Texas. I mean, like, I don't know. I just don't know what else to say. I got to give them this. I got to give them the slight edge.
Let me ask a separate but related question. If you were the Kansas City Chiefs and you could have either of these entire rooms, which one would you take?
Texas.
Yeah, well, I know why you're saying that, because if
you had to replace your Kansas City room with this room,
you're replacing the entire Kansas City room.
And here's the thing, I would for sure. I would actually, if I was Andy Reid, I would give it a couple of pinky fingers to do it. But the reason why I think it makes sense and why it's been great for Texas. And hold on, and you get JT Sanders in the thing too. You get JT Sanders, or you just get the receivers.
That's why it's a layup. That's why it's a layup.
Blake?
They get Sanders too.
Okay. Yeah, because the reason
you're
why
either replacing Kelsey with nobody, or you're replacing Sanders
with JT Sanders, and also you have Worthy and Mitchell who both have who could both be obvious role players with prototypes that we can point to. And imagine Xavier Worthy is your next Tyreek Hill, right? Imagine Mitchell in that role that they wanted Juju to play last year. Those are some, like, it would fit perfect. I think I would take the Texas room. It's mainly because of JT, but it's also because of the prototype of player that Texas has and how it fit into Andy Reid's system.
All right, so far, kind of quarterback leaning Washington, finding the edge, wide receivers and tight ends kind of leading Washington as well. Cody was split. What about running back? Johnson versus Baxter and Blue.
Dylan Johnson versus. I mean, this is one other. He's good, man. You know, he's good. What are Dylan Johnson?
Texas getting destroyed.
What are the?
I love Baxter, and I think Blue's dynamic ability brings a lot to the table. But what we've seen from Johnson, who hadn't had a 100-yard game until that USC game when he had 256, they found something with him, and they started to utilize it. I'm not going to say it's similar to the Ollie Gordon situation because it's not. They didn't change the scheme of their offense, but they found something in him, and it's added another piece to the offense. And I think what he brings to the table, being 220 pounds, he's a very good running back for this scheme. And I'm gonna lean into him. If this was Brooks and Baxter versus Johnston, I think I would give the edge to Brooks and Baxter. And again, that has nothing to do with Blue. I think Blue's a very good running back, but just because I think it's unlocked a different ability for this offense, and I think he fits it so well, I'm going to go Johnson 65-35.
I mean, those are good points. I'm looking at his game log right here. It's not a bad game log. Certainly down the stretch, like you said, starting in the USC game, just getting in more and more volume. He's been over 16 carries in all of these. I mean, that guy's hot right now. He kind of looks right now like Jay Brooks looked to start the year. And They're giving him the volume. Doesn't do much in the receiving game at all. Not that they would ask him to, right? Yeah, I'll give him a slight lean. I'll give it like 55-45. I think you're talking one guy versus two real talented dudes, but they do have something going with that guy right now. So I think what we're saying here is that, you know, as far as the skill player matchups, Washington State's got really good skill players, and that's what you would expect because they're in the college football playoff. And we're not talking about giant edges here. Wait till we get to some of these other ones.
Let's move to the trenches. Offensive line, Washington versus Texas. Where are you putting the edge?
They have a right tackle and a right guard that I think are interesting. When you go over to Kakamemi PFF, we talk about run blocking, their top 20 unit in run blocking, according to PFF. Pass blocking, not so much. They are all the way down at, what is it? I was at the top 50, I want to say, in pass blocking. No, they're fifth. My bad. Texas, however, is third. So I think it's really close and not really like a monumental difference maker. The worst out of the four units, run blocking versus pass blocking, Washington, Texas, is indeed Texas's run blocking, according to PFF. But we kind of know what that looks like in totality because of Alex and the deep dig. This one, again, similar to wide receiver, I'm going to go 50-50. We know what our left side looks like with Kelvin Banks. We also know Christian Jones is kind of pulled back down to earth a little bit over the course of the last couple of months, month and a half. DJ Campbell had his struggles, and I think their right side of their offensive line, they've been able to keep Penix up, not getting sacked. I think they're like top 10 in the Power 5 in least sacks allowed for Penix. I'm going to go 50-50 straight up.
Yeah, I'm going to, like, Kelvin Banks is the best player with all these guys, so I'm going to give the edge to the unit that has the best player.
That's
Texas offensive line's been awesome this year. They got 3 definite NFL players on it. They're going to be on the field in this game. I'm not sure we could say the same thing about Washington. I know that they like that. What do they like? They kind of like their center, but that guy was a backup to start the season. That's kind of been found money for them. They have the guard that Cody mentioned, who people talk about as, they talk about as a prospect that might find his way into day 2 and stuff like that. They don't have a dude who they're just say this guy's gonna be a first round pick next year. They don't, they don't have a Senior Bowl or like kind of Christian Jones type of player. And then it feels like, their right guard is probably a dude who has the same kind of recruiting pedigree as a dude like DJ Campbell. So I think for Texas, I've been so impressed with the offensive line this year. Maybe it's had to do with the fact that I've had to watch such bad ones before, and that's what I'm comparing it to. But I'm going to give Texas offensive line an edge, man, over ever. Just what they've been able to. They got backup running backs in there, where they're making them look like it's not even that big a deal. So I'm going to give it to Texas, dude. I'm like Texas offensive line's good, man. I'm going to make it 60-40 Texas. I'm going to give Texas the edge.
We have to halt everything because South End Zone Queen has sent us dog photos.
Oh, my goodness.
And look at these cute pups. This is the before. We got the pups.
So were those those are Siberian Huskies, or are they Akita?
They are Akita, I believe.
Okay. No, those
Husky Akita mix.
Okay. Yep. I used to my wife had one whenever she was in college that kind of became our dog, whenever we were married and stuff. That dog was very, very, very protective of her. Yep. They look about like that. Now, let me ask South End Zone Queen, do you own a contraption called a Furminator? If you don't, let me tell you about the Furminator, man. This isn't a joke. This isn't a joke. You can. It's kind of like a brush, right? But it takes off their undercoat, and it's the undercoat that blows out of those Akitas so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like this little. It's like a because their hair on their outside is like long, kind of. You know what I'm saying? It's like but what they shed is this stuff all around your house that just looks like pieces of cotton, and it's their undercoat blowing out, right? And so whenever you
they're scared of the vacuum.
No, but the Furminator is not a vacuum. It's like a brush. I have one outside I still have it from when we had the dog, when I had the Rottweiler. And what it does is it doesn't hurt them, and you just brush it. It takes off the undercoat, and it makes them much cooler, right? Because it makes them much cooler because it gets that undercoat off of them. They look shinier. It's I would definitely tell you, go and definitely but it's South End Zone Queen. It's not a brush. It's called a Furminator. You got to get the Furminator because
He says, yes, we got the brush, but not the vacuum one. I think there is another one that has an attachment to it.
Oh,
it's like the
vacuum. Well, yeah, you definitely have a big pile of hair when you're. It's it's enough to fill up a whole trash bag full of hair. But yeah, great dogs. Very, 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 very.
That was a cool picture too at Mary's Glacier Hike in Colorado Rip.
South End Zone Queen's a traveling queen.
She's awesome.
Traveling queen. My God, Kenya, Colorado. Thank you so much for sending that, South End Zone Queen. If you guys have anything you'd like to send in and have us put on the show, man, we love doing it. It's Alex at Roster Watch, or what is yours, Blake?
Skags OB.
Skags OB at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat.
While I'm talking about that stuff, let me also mention that we have the Angel Fire Games College Football Pick'em. Please go sign up for that. My buddy Byron put up $150 free for just our audience. So free shot at $100. All you do is go to the App Store, download Angel Fire Games, and then follow the link that's either in the top of the chat, or if you're watching this later, that's the top comment. And we'll get that done. Also, please remember to like the show and subscribe to the channel. And please also remember that if you're in the DFW area, you gotta call Val Garcia. He's gonna sell your house for free. Look at Val. Look at Val Garcia. Val Garcia, he pops out of nowhere with the biggest smile on his face, and the reason why he's going to sell your house for free. If you work in education or you work in the ministries and you're in DFW, he's selling your house for free, right? If you just tell Val Garcia you heard about him on Football with Friends, you not only get to work with Val, who's one of the coolest real estate agents, but honestly, one of the coolest dudes that I've ever gotten to know, man. Val is an awesome dude. He's one of us. He loves to hunt. He loves to fish. He loves the Longhorns. He loves to just have a bunch of fun. And he's going to sell your house for half price. So we're talking $5K in savings, $10K in savings, $15K in savings. It's like, there's no reason not to work with Val Garcia. He's got an awesome team to help you. He's one of the most experienced there is. He gave back like $65K of his agency fees last year just to help people in his community, and he wants to do the same thing for you, the Football with Friends community here. He's gonna sell your house for 1.5%. Just amazing. Val Garcia is just out here doing the Lord's work. Again, his phone number is 469-647-8729. That is Val Garcia. You can find him at Val Garcia at valenrealty.com and also at valenrealty.com. We have a super chat here from Chad Gibson. Thank you so much, Chad Gibson. If you guys have questions, just put them in, dude. And certainly if you have super chats, we'll get to them immediately. $4.99 fantasy question. Does Tyreek Hill play? If so, how much? And should I think about not starting him? My gut, if he plays, I start him. Yeah, I mean, look, it's tough, man. It's tough against that he's banged up and it's going against Sauce. But let's just look at. Oh, do you remember off the top of your head what they did the first time?
I want to say it was like 4 for 66. I could be wrong.
I have to go back and look. No, it was much better than that. It was 9 for 102 and 1. 12 targets. Yeah, dude. Hold on. I don't even know where we're like. You can't if Tyreek Hill's active in your fantasy football playoffs, you can't start him.
Yeah, you can't bench him.
But just to give a little color around it, I wouldn't even be that worried. And did you see Cody whenever Tyreek Hill got hurt in that game? He laid down for a little while, then he just hopped back up and just sprinted to the sidelines. And he's going to be fine. He's going to tell McDaniel he's fine.
They're in a spot too. Yeah, like he don't need to practice. He's in this offense he just doesn't need to practice anyway. It's just some guys just don't need to. Hopkins hasn't practiced for how many years? But Miami, they have to win this football game. It's a must win for the Jets, but it's also a must win for Miami because they're in a 4-horse race for the number 1 seed. And yeah, I mean he knows how important he is.
He's just bragging.
Yeah, well, good for you, man. Those first round buys certainly feel Feel real good, man. Some of us are in that situation, and I'm in that spot in a lot of leagues. I'm also in a spot in a lot of leagues where, I gotta win, man. I gotta win this week. We're winning here on Football with Friends. We have a few more final takes to get to. We have 12 days of Pickmas on Prize Picks. I noticed they've moved up the Flex Friday protected play to $30 today. So let's put in some Prize Picks. Let's do some final takes. Let's get those votes in. Let's get signed up for the college football playoff pool. Let's get those likes. Let's get those subscribes. Let's get it all done. Next.
I'll find the guy who sent it. Here it is right here. Angry Hammer Jason wanted to know any recruiting impact to this class. What about the next class?
Well, that's on my agenda. As soon as we're done with this video, I'll be working the phones today, Angry. But, I don't know that it'll have a huge impact on this class. I mean, obviously the committed guys are going to be excited, and, maybe it helps secure a guy like Jarrett Gibson and get him, kind of lock him back in. There really aren't a lot of remaining targets in this class. So I think if it's going to have an impact, I think it probably spills over more into that 2025 group than it does 2024. Does it help them maybe flip Xavier Filsaime, someone like that? I mean, listen, it can't hurt, obviously, but it's not like Texas has the room right now for some influx or a wave of recruits to start just jumping on board. But for 2025, yeah, listen, man, we've said it for years. Texas is kind of a sleeping giant. Once they start winning, this recruiting will take off like a rocket ship. I mean, they recruit well anyways, but when you got a college football playoff to sell, absolutely, it should impact. I'd say a little bit of impact, over the next couple of weeks, but moving forward for that 2025 class, I think it has a big impact.
Keep an eye on the portal. That may be maybe even more so than for 2024 anyway. It may impact. I get the sense that there's a lot of people that are calling Texas that aren't even in the portal yet. This could help them really get a bang-up class, knowing that Texas will be poised, even though they'll be rebuilding and they lose a lot from this team. If they bring Ewers back, I mean, they'll be a top 10 team going into the country next year, I think, with the presence of that alone. And Texas will have a loaded young roster. It may be unproven in some areas, but I think they'll get the benefit of the doubt, especially if they perform well coming into the playoff against Washington. I think things look good right now.
Oh, and we're back. Football with Friends. Oh, gosh, we're having so much fun here on a big Friday, a Final Takes Friday. Of course, Cody Carpentier joining us. You can find him on Twitter at Cody Carpentier. I know you guys all follow him anyway, but just in case you're not, make sure and go do that. We got Final Takes to get to. We got some prize picks we're going to get to. We got to vote. You got to vote. You got to get out, do your civic duty if you choose to. I mean,
real quick, there's also a little bit of news that I just saw come across my feed. The NCAA has agreed to terms regarding the multi-time transfer rule, which they were trying to impose. There's they've kind of pushed that back. The NCAA was trying to push that rule that players would have to sit out a year for transferring multiple times. That is being pushed back. If you transfer within a certain time period, I think it's the next, 14 days? There's a restraining period to where these kids that are multi-time transfers can transfer now and don't have to sit out a year. So,
how long does that last? Is there some kind of, they put an injunction on it, or like whatever they call it? They put what is that called? A moratorium or something?
See, there's so much language. I'm not a lawyer. Oh my gosh, reading through this. But basically, the NCAA has agreed that multi-year transfers in winter and spring sports can play this year without reprisal, pending court approval.
In winter and spring sports?
Yeah.
What about fall sports? Doesn't say anything.
Well, I think he means including the guys going in now and next spring.
Huh. There's a lot of transfers.
A lot of transfers, a lot of multi-time transfers.
Whenever I was looking at the putting some links in there to the college pages of the guys that you added into the rankings sheet for the rookies, just kind of reading some of their bios and kind of familiarizing myself with some of these dudes that I didn't really know, and all of those dudes, it's like all of them are transfers. Mm-hmm. They're all just like, they were at this school, then they came to this school for 1 year. They, some of them had transferred to a couple different schools. So
did you see the list of the last, 7 Heisman winners, and 5 of them were transfers or something like that?
All the quarterbacks. it makes sense when you start thinking back on them, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 5 of the last 7. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Baker, Hurts, Burrow, Daniels, and
Not Bryce Young.
no, not Devonta Smith. Baker, Hurts, Burrow, Daniels.
Yeah, so it's
Who's the other
4.
who's the other quarterback in there?
Maybe it was 4 of the last 6.
Yeah, we could be. We could be.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Transfers. Driving
That's gonna
college
drive me
football
crazy.
today.
Okay.
All right.
All
Finding
right.
the edge.
Oh,
Last one.
Kyler.
Kyler. There you go.
Hammering Javelina got it. That was gonna kill me.
Caleb
Okay.
Williams. Caleb Williams transferred too.
Yeah. Oh, Caleb did too.
Yeah.
So then that's
So
more. That's
Baker,
even more than he
Kyler,
said.
Baker, Kyler, Burrow, Caleb, Daniels.
So 5 of
That's
7.
Five of the last 7.
Yeah. Wow. It's not bad. It's a nice. That's a nice stat. Blake. Defense, I give the edge to Texas, 80-20.
Holy
80-20. Okay.
Holy cow.
And
Okay.
now, real quick, how much would your answer change if I had split it between like D line and defensive backs?
I would like with the
Like front seven.
with the D line and the linebackers. I just like, dude, I've watched this D line and these line. I don't care what people say about these guys. I truly don't. Texas is so much better. It's like that's like a 100 for me. 100 and 0. With the DBs, I would say it's probably close. It's probably closer.
Yeah, 50-50. What do you think, Cody?
I think the DBs are 50-50. I think the front 7 is 65-35. Braylon Trice, their edge rusher, is going to be in this year's draft class. Kind of in the same ilk of, I can't remember his name right now. Plays for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Goes drafted like one of the last picks in the first round. Tryon, yeah, kind of in the same ilk as him. Longer guy, number 1 in the NCAA Power 5 in pressures at the defensive line position. He was a top 12 guy.
Not as many sacks though, right?
No, but created pressures, and that's the one thing this interior can do. They're obviously not on the same level as Texas, but there's enough there from the edge rushing perspective where when the game gets into a situation where there needs to be a pass rush, they do have a pass rush. So I'm going to go 65-35 in favor of Texas. I think if you did break it down by position, I think the defensive backs, neither team really has a strong showing from the defensive backfield side. The one note I did find, and again, you take this for what it is. This is documenting PFF tackling grades. But when you look at the Power 5 tackling grades by team, number 1 is Michigan, number 2 is Georgia, number 3 is Oregon, number 4 is Iowa. A couple teams you'd expect to be up there: Georgia, Michigan, Iowa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Texas and Washington. Texas is ranked 50th in tackling. Washington's ranked 61st in tackling in all of Power 5, according to PFF. Thought that was kind of interesting. So, anyway, 65-35, I'm going to be in favor of Texas.
And here's that graphic I was remembering. We were right that it was 5 of the last 7.
Of course
Baker,
we were.
Kyler,
We went through it.
Smith, Bryce Young were the 2 that weren't Williams Daniels.
Yeah, man.
So I added up all the numbers together. It all equaled up.
Hold on. I got one more finding the edge that I want to ask.
Wait, you put one in here? All right.
I snuck another one.
Hold on. Are all those players now SEC on SEC teams?
Wait, these guys?
Yeah.
Hold on.
No. So well, I mean, Caleb Williams, or so everybody's now.
Was it Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, was it Oklahoma?
Baker's
all
Oklahoma,
right. Sorry.
Oklahoma,
No,
LSU,
that's an interesting thought.
Bama.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, LSU. Oklahoma, Bama, LSU. That's all these teams.
Crazy.
Oklahoma, man. They're just farming those dudes and shipping them out to other places. Finding the edge, the last one that Cody didn't know I slipped in. Head coach, Washington versus Texas. Kalen DeBoer versus Steve Sarkisian.
Here's my god honest take, dude. For real. I think Steve Sarkisian's turned into a good head coach, man. He's developed the culture and all this stuff. I've had an up close, personal front row seat to it. Right, I've been covering the team, watching it. I think he's turned into a good head coach. He was a guy that I've never been skeptical of him as a play caller. I know at times people call for his head as a play caller. I just said, man, he's got to get in the rhythm. He's got to get his guys. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt on that. What I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt on is to say when he's 5-7 and then he's 8-5 or whatever, that we're automatically going to say he's going to be a great football coach because he's in the past he'd been mediocre with his win rates and all the rest of that stuff. Right. I'm to the point now where I say, I feel like Sark's the whole package. He's a good coach. I don't think you should give him a big extension into the SEC. I think you should give him a raise. I have not had those anywhere near the level of exposure to DeBoer to be able to break down any sort of nuance like that about the way I see it. So to me, it's really like, I don't know where he was before. Like, I'm trying to think like where
Fresno
I don't know what his ascension
where he coached at.
How old is he?
He is
49. The only reason I knew who he was because I'm from the Midwest, and he was a name that was like often talked about in Minnesota as being a Minnesota coach because he was at Sioux Falls and he absolutely dominated the NAIA. And then he went to Southern Illinois and he was trying to work himself up as an OC. And then that's when he went to Fresno. He was offensive coordinator, quarterback coach in Indiana, went to Fresno, turned that program around in 2 years, went from, the COVID year, and then they went to 9-3, and then he went to Washington. So, but at Sioux Falls, he was known because he like literally didn't lose. He was like, he only lost like 2 or 3 times, and there was
obviously this is at a bunch of different levels of college football, but overall as a head coach, he has 103-11.
Yeah, and in 5-year stretch at Sioux Falls, he lost like literally 3 games and won like was in every championship.
Is that a community college?
Sioux Falls is currently a Division II, but it wasn't NIA at that time.
Okay,
the point is coaching. The point is coaching. The point is coaching. Again, we're not calling. This is my fight back here.
What about recruiting?
My fight back. Looks like he's doing pretty damn good to me.
Yeah,
Puka Nacua was at. I don't know if Puka. He obviously didn't recruit Puka there, but. This whole he didn't. I can't really say anything about any of these guys in this roster because I don't think he brought any of them in right now other than Penix. But all I'm saying is the question is head coach. Blake didn't say play caller. Blake said head coach, and I think from a head coach perspective, I think it is razor thin. And this guy's won back-to-back Pac-12 Coach of the Year, back-to-back AP-12 Pac-12 Coach of the Year. He's done it for the last 20 years. I respect everything Sark's done. I think Sark's a phenomenal play caller. And for all those reasons, I'm going to go 51-49 in favor of DeBoer.
I'm not doing it. I don't know enough about DeBoer. Like Sioux City.
Don't disrespect the Midwest. Don't disrespect the Midwest.
Well, I'm just saying, man. One guy's coached for the Falcons and coached it just like you saw what he's able to do.
What's the percentage then?
Those Alabama guys. I think Texas is going to win the game. I think I don't know. They both seem like they're good, but like I said, I don't know enough about DeBoer's background. It's like me. All right, fine. I'll take Texas 65, them 35 because it's just me saying I don't know what being the winningest coach in Sioux Falls history means. Like that doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? It truly doesn't. Like I'd like to see what the facility looks like. Or what the history was before. Like, are they always a contender? Like it's just way too much. Yeah. I don't know. It's a hard question for me to answer.
I got it. All right.
What do we got, Cody? You totaling them up?
All right. So Alex is 55% Texas. And I have 265 plus 51 divided by 6, 52.6% Washington.
Okay.
Well, it feels like a razor close game. It's gonna be. Look, man, it's gonna be. No one said this is gonna be easy.
Both kind of the similar trend was Texas is probably gonna have a clear edge in the trenches, but the skill position is pretty up in the air, and Washington.
Whenever you get to championship football, dude, give me the edge in the trenches over any other thing. The edge on defense, the edge in the trenches. That's what I want. That's what Texas has.
Can I ask you a question, Alex? Because I just brought it up a minute ago with the defense with tackling and stuff. Have you noticed that at all this year? Like poor tackling? Because like they just led, they're ranked again. I know it's PFF, but you chart every game, you chart every play for the defense. Have you noticed an obscene amount of bad tackling or poor tackling from this defense?
Well, yeah. I mean, there are a couple of guys Keaton Crawford's a bad tackler. You know, Jalen. It stinks
he's
because
not a starter,
these guys.
He doesn't play. These
500
guys are
safeties.
snaps.
Jalen Catalon, even as a starter, was a bad tackler. Jalen Ford's gotten better with his missed tackles this year. Anthony Hill, for as good as he's been, has missed some tackles. But that's what you're going to get from a guy, hair on fire guy that's always around the football. He's going to miss some tackles. You know, like I feel like I'd like to. If they gave them a better tackling grade last year than they did this, if they did that. If you look at 2022 and it's a better tackling grade, then we can just throw it completely out and it's all cockamamie and none of it even matters anyway.
All right, here's the truth.
Which is kind of true anyway.
So the grade was 64.8 and they were ranked like 50th. And last year 71.3. 7 points higher last year.
Throw it all away. It's like that's a stupid. Like, what does this even mean? What is PFF even doing? Like Texas literally missed like 25 more tackles last year in the regular season than they did this year. Like so what does it mean? The tackling grade? Are they grading him on their form? Are they saying like, well, he didn't wrap up, or like that means what does that mean? What can a tackling grade mean except missed tackles? What is it?
It says key.
What does the tackle do?
TAC. PFF grade for tackling. Period.
Okay. And that's it. There's not that's the PFF's cockamamie. By the way, I put a new PFF is cockamamie shirt up in the merch store, Blake, if you have the link for that. Now, listen, I'm not sure that I would order it just yet because I haven't tested this and ordered it. The last one I got was kind of weird, right? So I did order a sample of it. But if you want to go nuts and go order one and just hope that it's fine, and if it's not, you can send it back to them. But it's definitely a cool shirt that says PFF is cockamamie up on the Football with Friends up on the Football with Friends store over there. Blake has the merch right there. Can you put a link to the merch like it's somewhere, Blake?
A link in the chat as well.
Okay, and maybe whenever you put a link to the CFB thing, can you put a link to the merch there whenever you make that comment?
We'll do.
Okay.
Also, just want to put this up real quick. I know it's really tiny.
Yeah, they had better tackling last year. That just can't.
I know it's really tiny, but Washington went 3-1 in the COVID season. Then they went 4-8 in 2021. They then hired DeBoer, and they went 11-2, beating Texas in the Alamo Bowl, and now they're undefeated and in the CFP. It's a pretty damn impressive coaching job by DeBoer. Whether you give him the edge over Sark or not, that's that's fine.
Look, I mean, I think it's fun. Dude, these are two teams in the CFP with coaches that have come in and rapidly gotten their teams out of mediocrity back into the discussion here. They're obviously both very good young coaches. Like, they're both obviously very good. What I'm saying is, in deferring my take there on that, is like, I don't think it's not fair. Like I said, I've had a front row seat to Sark.
Mm-hmm.
I told you my whole evolution of the way that I've thought about him. I don't have my whole evolution of the way that I thought about DeBoer. I cover the NFL nationally. I cover draft nationally and stuff. I don't really cover college football nationally. I don't watch every press conference of every Pac-12 team. I can't do it. So it's just hard for me. And when I don't come from South Dakota or whatever, like Cody, it's like, or North Dakota or Minnesota, I don't know enough about this. It's like, I mean, him saying this Sioux Falls stuff is like me breaking out some coach that went to like University of Mary Hardin Baylor, and just like some epic run there. It's like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean?
And then he was the
winningest coach ever at Houston Tillotson or Hardin Simmons. Like, is that what Sioux Falls is? Like, I truly don't know. So it's just hard for me to figure out. Like, I don't have a good take.
Yeah, I understand that. That's fair.
Like the one time you'll hear me say that.
We stumped them. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen.
We can't end final takes with me saying I don't have a good take.
That's how we just ended it. And you're still going to win because the chat is absolutely horrendous.
It was an absolute landslide this time.
We going to do prize picks?
Cockamamie.
Yeah. Did you say you did or did not make your Circa picks yet?
I haven't.
You haven't? Well, there's a mega edge this week. This is the biggest one I've seen in a while. 16.7%. Can you guess the team?
Is it? Let me guess. Is it the?
Wait.
Is it the? Is it the? Is it the Saints?
No, it's the Titans against the Texans. No Stroud, no Nico, no Tank. Titans minus 2.5.
We don't know if there's. We don't know if there's no Nico yet. And are
Nico's
we
out.
100%
Nico's
sure that
out. Nico's out. Nico's out.
When did Nico get out?
About
just earlier today.
2 hours ago. And then Stroud's out
Okay,
like
well,
a
yeah,
20
Stroud's
minutes
doubtful,
ago.
so he's out.
They called Stroud out like 20 minutes ago, and Nico's out like 2 hours ago.
And dude, and the Titans are tough on tight ends. So it's like, dude, this could be a. Gosh, dude. I mean, could this be raw? Could this be?
This is Dog City, dude. This is Will Levis.
Is this gonna be? Is this gonna be Robert Woods' revenge?
This is gonna be Robert Woods' playoff revenge right here.
Gosh.
16.7% edge at a 2.5 line, 2.5 points. Houston Texans, Tennessee's favored.
All right, let me see if I can get to prize picks here. Okay, so I know if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to CFB here. I know that Diego Pavia is playing this weekend, and if he is, what do? We always take the more on the rush yards. Okay, so that's always the lock is Pavia. What else can we do? NFL maybe. We got any specials? What are their specials? Oh gosh, I don't want any of that stuff. You got any stuff that you like in CFB, Cody, from like the unabated side or anything like that?
I'm pulling it up right now. So there's 3 picks ahead of 25%. Caden Robinson, Kaedin, Caden Robinson from App State. Lower receptions and yards. And then
Robinson?
Yeah, Robinson, Caden.
Okay, 66.5 receiving yards, lower.
Yeah, projections 52. Otherwise, also receptions is projected 4.
That's not close enough. 52 though is fine. Okay.
And then Trey Watson, TRE Watson, is under 3 receptions.
Oh, we got some new Longhorns plays that are up, by the way, for the game.
What are they?
We got Bert Auburn 7.5 kicking points, CJ Baxter 13.5 receiving yards, and JT Sanders 43.5 receiving yards.
None of those feels like absolute takes to me, except Auburn, which I'm always wrong about. That Auburn thing killed me last time, but he's going to have more than 7.5 kicking points.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is a get. I mean, if he doesn't, that means
if you take it, he gets 7. If you don't take it, he gets 10. That's kind of how it goes.
What do you got on Minnesota Cincinnati tomorrow at noon? Do you have any feel on any of those guys with Mullins at quarterback? Chandler receiving yards under 16.5. I don't love it. But
I don't love that.
The biggest edge is Joe Mixon under receiving yards, which is 26.5. Also is Jake Browning under passing. Addison.
Why do they have it? Why do they have him under? Why they don't think they're gonna? Is it because
his number's 231 and the Vikings just shut out the Raiders and it's Flores and it's outdoor in Cincinnati?
But yeah,
I
think that they might go to Mixon more. I just think from a football standpoint that makes sense to me.
They've been throwing to Chase Brown. That's the one they've been throwing to. I don't know what happened to this Hawkinson number. I got Hawkinson like literally 3-4 hours ago at 35.5 receiving yards, and now it's moved up to like 50.
Yeah, Hawk's in a good spot, man. It's the number one matchup for opposing tight ends this week on the matchup tool.
I don't have a ton. I don't have a ton here.
You know what I might do? I might go through and just get some of these goblins where they take it way, way down and maybe make this 6 easier to hit, but maybe it'll still have like a 20x payout or something like that. Or wait, it'll adjust it because it says that it's the what is there for Antonio Gibson? Maybe it looks like Brian Robinson's out, right?
Gibson's been a dog all year, dude.
But he can get 34.5 rushing yards without Brian Robinson.
I think he will.
Yeah, so let's go. I'm gonna do that, and then let's see what else. Who else have we got news on today or over the last?
It says Khalil Herbert's at 13.5 rushing yards against Cleveland.
And Cleveland's hard to run on, man, and they just don't really use. It's like that's so hard to trust, dude.
That was basically the question, though. What do you think Chicago's going to? Do you think they're just going to keep looking at Deontay and ignore the other two?
No, I mean I think that probably Roschon will continue getting mixed in, but
this is a bad day for Prize Picks, dude. There ain't nothing here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go through and just see this stuff. Some of these guys,
Joey Aguilar, App State quarterback, 251. They've projected him for 219.
251. Joey Aguilar.
Aguilar. There it is.
Less.
Yeah, projected for 219.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make this a. Golly, that's just not very much though.
Put Gibson back in there and run that 4 thing. That looked good. That was like 20 for $200. That was all right.
Yeah, but it has to be a flex play. You got to do a flex play. You can't have a power play on Flex Friday.
Oh,
it's got to be a flex play. So we got to find 2 more plays here, Cody, before we get off.
All right.
Let's see.
We'll keep correlating then. Keep correlating. We correlated Caden Robinson with Aguilar. Go Christian Horn. Christian Horn's also projected 38. His number's 46 in the App State game.
So less for both of them?
Yeah, they're both projected less. They're both projected almost 10
What's
yards
his name?
less than their number. Christian Horn.
Okay. Oops. All right. Christian Horn less. Oh gosh, they've shifted. They've given me a payout shift because I correlated like a smart person. Okay, and then let's see. We'll look at the. Let's just look at some fantasy scores here, and we'll just kind of go through. And doesn't the 16.5 seem high for Justin Jefferson? I saw you had him ranked super high. Like coming back from being banged up last week. You know,
new quarterback.
Doesn't that seem high?
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
You're not going to catch me fading a player like that.
Hey, if y'all are going to play one of the specials Prize Picks has, I'd take Jordan Poole plus Brent Burns, 4.5 3-pointers made plus shots on goal. That's the one I like.
Well, is that one that you like?
That's one that I like for sure. Just looking at their stats, Poole's good for at least a couple threes a game, and Brent's been consistently getting 3 or 4
Top
shots
right.
on goal. So,
All right.
seems like a pretty good play. I just looked at all of those. I went through each of these specials. I was going to take James and Robertson, but LeBron's got a calf contusion, so I don't know how healthy he is.
Okay, so we're taking the Diego Pavia more. Oh, I've got to make this for 30. So the Diego Pavia more, Caden Robinson less, Joey Aguilar less, Antonio Gibson more, Christian Horn less, Jordan Poole plus Brent Burns. This is the most cockamamie degenerate stuff you could ever imagine.
Let's go.
Let's throw in some CSGO plays while we're at it. What do we got?
We're getting it. We're winning this bad boy.
Replace the entry. There we go. $630 coming our way. $100 coming your way if you enter the contest on Angel Fire Games, man. Make sure to get in that bowl pick'em, dude. Get in there with us. Have some fun. Make sure to like the show if you please could. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but man, we would certainly appreciate you liking the show, subscribing to the channel.
Hey, there's a great football game going on Valley Sports Southwest right now, by the way. Gilmer up 28-26 as the fourth quarter gets going. Tune into that. Go check it out. Texas high school football.
I'll bet you Jeff Traylor's watching.
34 entries. 34 entries. I'm gonna.
We need to get some more entries, or Byron's gonna be tilted at me, guys.
Come on, folks.
All right.
The link is pinned to the top of the chat.
That's cockamamie right there.
I gotta go pick up my side by side with. He's got this busted tire, so I'm gonna head out and do that, man. Everybody have a great weekend. Love y'all, man. Thank you so much for being here with us every day. 3:30 to 5:30 football with friends. For Cody, for Blake, I'm Alex. We're done.